welcome to our podcast about our adorable little yarn shop in Christchurch, New Zealand. So,
That's a loud sip.
I know, I thought it was going to be really quiet, and then I had a whole like bag of crisps in a movie theater moment, and I was going to stop, and I was like, I'm just going to keep going slowly because I don't care enough to stop, if I'm being honest. Sorry, guys.
I woke up at like 3 a.m. and realised we hadn't put our bin out, and we missed it last time.
Oh, no.
So I really quietly dragged it down the driveway.
There is no quiet way to drag a bin down a New Zealand driveway, everyone.
No,
especially not
ours.
I was going to say, especially not where we live. Like, oh my god, as you're trying to drag it through like pea gravel mixed with random chunks of concrete, and you're like,
and the worst part is, so I got up that early to do it, and when I left today, they still hadn't come to pick it up.
Yeah, see, I could have told you that, because when I got up at 7:15 this morning, I noticed our bins weren't out, and I did not bother being quiet. I dragged that fucker to the end of the thing. Anyway.
We seem to be on like the beginning of the route usually, so normally it's really early. But
not this time.
Not today.
Classic.
Anyway, sorry, I digress.
We're about to go right into another digression, because, woof. But no, apart from that, if you are enjoying our chat about our bin situation, just to be clear, Emily and I live like roughly 500 meters apart, a kilometer apart. Yeah. We live close enough to like send, I don't know, smoke signals back and forth, I guess, if that was a style of communication we could utilize. But trust me, in Christchurch you can't, because all sorts of other things are literally constantly catching on fire. And that sounds like a joke, but it's not. Look it up. I also just learned why from Emily moments ago.
Yeah.
Yikes. So many questions answered at once. And I will tell you, construction updates from next door. Thank you to the genuinely helpful person who alerted me that it was going to stop at 6 stories, because I was starting to have some questions. Also, Emily has now experienced something that I experienced early in the morning on Sunday, which is their terrifying concrete pumping situation.
Like 6 stories up.
Just looks like it's going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah.
It's not great.
And it's not completely evident what they did.
Is it ever?
Like, is it the floor? I guess it's the floor.
Oh, I'm still just waiting for it to fall down, actually.
Yeah.
Moving right along. So there we go. They're pumping concrete up 6 stories. I'm sure for a very good reason. So please subscribe to our podcast and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on anecdotes like these. But we do have many a yarny thing to talk to you about. I am excited to see where we have ended up with things. Emily certainly has a new thing to tell you all about, because she is wearing it. And then we're going to tell you about the literal piles of new yarn sitting around us. And then I'm going to show you my 2 new project bags that I am just as obsessed with as I am with all of my other project bags. Breaking bloody news. So, without any more waiting, Emily, what are you wearing?
I am wearing my 4th So Summer shirt.
Oh my goodness.
By Jessie Made Designs, but I did it with a twist, so I knit it flat, and the back is a different colour.
Yes.
But it has matching ribbing, and so the ribbing around the bottom and around both sleeves was from one mini, and I still had a little bit left.
Okay.
So this was one of the Circus Tonic sock sets, so I had 2 sets, but I only used one of the minis.
What's really funny is Emily and I both took the same 2 colors.
Yes.
And I can tell because she has Aphrodite on the front and Apollo on the back.
And they're kind of like a really good complement to each other. Like the yellow has the little pink and the pink has the little yellow.
Because they're siblings.
Yeah.
Aphrodite and Apollo are siblings in that lore. If you don't know this, go and purchase a gigantic book called the Encyclopedia Mythologica. I got it when I was like 12.
Just Google?
Don't do that. No one, don't give Google more power than they already have. No one likes them. Let's be honest. Anyway.
Yeah, I really liked it, and it was really easy to split it because all the increases are at the side markers, so I could literally just
divide it in half.
Yeah, it was so easy.
It looks great.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with it.
Because there's a similar pattern that's already like this.
It's the double take tee.
Yes, by Pearl Soho, I want to say?
No, someone else.
No. By someone else. The double take tee. I'm sure we can... Espace Trico. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But they had, there was like a few weird things going on, and I was like, I know this one fits me, and I'd rather just use this pattern.
I think that was a wise choice.
And then I added, I did worse than usual at my lovely neckline that Ethan loves, and so I added some crochet
scallops.
Yes, so these
That's
actually are the same as what will be happening on this one.
Oh.
And this was some leftover Fibre to Go mohair that I had. That is like the perfect color.
Bang.
So yeah.
There we go.
That's what I'm wearing.
A good reason, I guess, to keep the ends of your yarn, unless you're me, in which case, still throw them in the bin.
Never.
Always.
I was cutting off links like this big, and I was like, could use it for something.
I threw out half a ball yesterday because I was annoyed it got tangled. True story. So, Emily, what do you wear? I can't wait till you do that for the first time. It's going to be so liberating for you emotionally.
It's just never going to happen. Do you know the size of the fabric scraps
nope.
they have?
I'd rather not,
it's
probably.
Not going to happen.
Okay, well, Emily, tell the people what you are working on. And this time I will be able to find it and properly put the link down below. I'm very sorry. I searched for this spelt correctly. I can't be blamed. Because she has spelt it neither like almond or like love. I have questions.
Almond?
Yes. The almond and the flavor in English is amaretto.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Which is not spelled like the way she spelled it either.
No.
Just for the record.
It's not.
But
this is the Amoretta blouse by 100 Acre Wool.
Boom boom.
So it's got different versions, but I'm making the short sleeve cardigan version, and then I'm going to add the little scallops around all the hems.
So cute.
So I haven't done heaps on it because I was like really close to finishing this, and I needed to have a few less projects on the go.
I feel you.
But I've joined the shoulders, and I'm working the raglan increases at the moment.
Bang.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. The color is coming out really well.
Yes, it's very pretty.
What is the knitting with Merci like, now that you've made more of it?
Good. Yeah, it's really nice. It's soft. You wouldn't know that it was cotton, like from the feel. Like, I don't think I've ever knit with cotton, but I've crocheted with cotton.
I think we've all had some questionable, I've made some real questionable cotton dishcloths in the past.
It's not a fun time.
No, but this looks like it's coming along really beautifully.
It's super soft and easy to manipulate. And
would you say, now I know you have a preference for wood needles, but do you think that this would work equally well on wood and metal needles for those watching from home, or would you think a wood needle is a better choice?
Yeah, it's not super slippery, so I think you could use either.
Cool. So, head it up for either.
So this is Merci.
Yes.
Which is a Filcolana 50/50 wool and cotton.
Yeah, and like our other cotton product that we have in the store, the Eco Baby, it is also a Pima cotton, which is a longer, smoother cotton fiber than what we get from other places, so it does not need to be mercerized to express its full softness, which is a lovely plot twist.
Yes.
Because mercerization is not great for the cotton and not great for the planet.
And I guess maybe because of the blend, it has like a mild, not all the colors as much, but
no, you'll probably see it more with the more intense or deeper shades. And for this line of colors that I've selected for the shop, this is actually one of our deepest shades on it because there's not a huge call for navy tops in the summer. So I did go quite light and summery. 5 points to the person who ordered the duckling because I am obsessed with it. It's so cute and you're going to be so happy with it. And I think that the Filcolana has been a really great addition. It's filled some gaps that we had. And I do think this would be great for knitting for babies in the summer. I have to admit, it's really easy care for new moms if that's a concern for you. And the Filcolana does fill that gap for baby knitting that you may want to be machine washable. And so our two fingering weight bases in it, both the Amoretta and the Merci, are both machine washable wool, and cotton is machine washable as well. We would still probably recommend that you hand wash, but it is a less daunting process for people who aren't used to wool. And it's a great way to initiate people into a hand knit lifestyle if they haven't experienced that before.
and also if it's going to be like a summer baby, like born in January or whatever, and it's going to be hot.
So hot. Well, I think that's all very exciting, and your Flocktober project is coming along.
Yes.
Because you have doubled down on the Europeanness.
Yes, I was thinking this is kind of also
Yes.
No,
a spastly
the other one. What else am I making? I'm making something else that I was like, that's
what are you
European.
making?
Something English.
Mm.
What am I making?
I don't know. Are you using the Fibre Company?
My mind's gone blank.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, stay tuned to find out what else Emily has cast on. I think. Oh no, you're
the hedgehog. Yeah.
Jethro cardigan.
Yeah,
There we go. We got there in the end, everyone.
Yeah.
Send help to.
I was going to say hedgehog, and I was like, wait, what am I making in hedgehog? Oh yes.
Yeah.
10,000 squares.
Send help in gin and bourbon to 2-225 High Street, Christchurch Central, 8011. I'm happy with any kind of bourbon, dealer's choice. And I think, Emily, gin preferences? No. So please, God, send help. And alcohol. Alcohol first. Don't worry so much about the help.
That was why I wanted to finish this, because I've kind of accidentally got like whips, which was like a bit extreme even for me.
Well, I must admit, I got down to 2 and I'm back to 4. Because I speed knit to finish some socks that Emily has thankfully blocked and photographed and will be coming it to you super shortly. And then I started immediately knitting another sock for a class, and I think it was too much knitting on teeny tiny needles, because my parts of my body are not thrilled about it. So we're just taking a conscious and thoughtful step back from knitting on tiny little needles. So I think the smallest I can really work on at the moment is about a 3.5. So I have cast on something new. Partially because I do this thing every time that I get yarn, and I just stick it in my stash and I never cast on with it, and then I take so long to decide what I'm going to do with it, and then I build it up into this whole thing, and then by the time I'm ready to cast on with it, I decide to get new yarn. This happens constantly.
Or it gets discontinued.
That's another nightmare that I live through constantly. So what happened is I had placed several orders for myself for Spin Cycle, assuming they would come broken up, and they ended up all coming at once, which was an experience. So I had a lot of new Spin Cycles to cast on, and I decided on the Flock Online, I've made a class called How to Improvise a Top-Down Raglan. And I don't talk about it a lot, but it's a really good class to teach you the foundational principles of how we should be crafting and forming top-down raglans. Top-down patterns are quite difficult to fit to my body. However, there is a certain point at which ease can solve problems. So what I've decided to do is knit a fingering weight top-down raglan using my How to Improvise a Top-Down Raglan with V-neck fronts and a button band TBD. Mostly because I cast this on to be a fun and relaxing personal project, not a work project, and so I'm not following a pattern, so I can't be held to anything, and this is from something that already exists, so I don't need to write a pattern for it. You too can make one for yourself if you sign up for the Flock Online and take the How to Improvise a Top-Down Raglan class, because I actually followed my own instructions, and I wrote them really well.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is it cardigan and pullovers?
Yes. Yeah, so the instructions for both are in there. During the class, the project that I work on, all the videos were filmed live, which is really useful because people were asking questions as it was happening. So it means that there are both instructional videos and then live review videos of how to do those steps with people's questions included and incorporated. And the questions pop up on one side and then I answer them. So it's a really valuable tool, and it comes with all of the instructions of how to build this and set it up. I was inspired by Karen Templar's blog posts on how to improvise your own top-down raglan, and if you wanted something with less guidance and structure, you can still find those on the Fringe Supply Co. blog, or it might just be called Fringe and Friend blog now. I'm not certain, but Karen Templar, How to Improvise a Top-Down Raglan, it will come up, and it's always out of order. Be careful. However, I have created a more in-depth adapted version of it that draws from my own experience, having improvised several top-down raglans, having designed a couple of top-down raglans that will never see the light of day due to my issues with top-down raglans. However, I will tell you that improvising your own is a fun and easy process. And in that class, you can learn to make a cardigan or a pullover with either a V-neck or a round neck, giving you tons and tons of options. And there's lots of instructions of how to build different selvages and stuff and different treatments for your raglan increases. So I just cast this on in Spin Cycle in the colorway Bomboloni. because it came in and I've been really, really wanting to make something with this for a long time, and it's going to go so well with my mystery knit along. Like so well with it. So I just decided to cast it on and prove my point that improvising a top-down raglan is a really great way to get a top-down raglan that fits you the way you desire. This is not going to be fitted, it's going to be a giant drapey sack, and that is the goal. So I just wanted an oversized, lightweight, drapey cardigan to wear with my shawls. And so spin cycled, dyed in the wool, colorway Bomboloni. Here's one that I helpfully have prepared earlier.
Is Bomboloni something?
Bomboloni is a type of leavened, self-rising leavened bread Italian donut that you then fill with different things. So the warm tones in this, I believe, are to represent the dough and batter of its various things. And then all of the accent colors are the classic flavorings. So orange, raspberry, strawberry, cream, pistachio, and lemon, which is why it has all of these additional colors in it. Yeah. So the darker browns are the cooked part once it's been fried, the lighter parts, and yeah. So I really like this colorway, and I've stashed it before, but the previous two skeins that I put away, breaking news, are not like these ones.
Did you grab a Miss Me?
I grabbed a Miss Me and a Bomboloni to show people later.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I can.
So I was thinking they'd make a pretty fade.
Like a. Oh no! I didn't pick up a Miss Me because I got confused at the rack because somebody had misplaced them. So this is Miss Me on this side, and this one is Bomboloni on this side. So they have a lot in common, and I think, I can't believe what I'm about to say, possibly you could put Water Witch in there too.
Yes.
Which we don't currently have in stock, although we have a lot of other things that look like Water Witch to be revealed a little bit later. Yes. There was a lot of holding up everything that came this week and going, is this also Water Witch? And you know what? Emily was right every time. If she had told me that from a distance, I would have believed her.
And none of it was Water Witch.
Not a single one. I also, the reason that I needed to cast on something in plain stock is because I'm doing the mystery knit along, which I will show you my yarn colors, and then you can imagine the shawl, and I'll show it at the very end, which is what I do every year during the mystery knit along. Although I would like to point out, by the time this comes out, Clue 2 will be out, and Clue 1 will no longer be a mystery if you have been in contact with the internet, because I haven't been, luckily I'd already finished mine, but if I hadn't, I'd be really mad because I've been hit with a lot of random photos of it. It's a mystery knit along, everyone. Mystery. Listen to Susan Sontag. Stop taking so many pictures. This is Kote by Hiroko Payne, and this is my Flocktober project. I am knitting a pattern from a European designer, Hiroko Payne, and I am using nominally European yarn, Cumbria Worsted, which I guess is technically I'm doing the thing. So this is knit in Cumbria Worsted. I hope that as I knit this, it starts to inspire some of you for our cabled cardigan knit along, which is coming up after European summer. And this will actually end up as a summer garment for me. I'm going to be very honest. There is no way that I'm not wearing this.
Look
in
at
summer.
Right now. I'm wearing a t-shirt.
Yes.
And
I'm wearing a sensible garment for the weather. It is only 16 degrees out. I'm so cold.
Hot summer, hot summer.
I left wearing a jacket and a hoodie this morning from home. So I'm gonna hold this up so you can get an idea of the cabling, which I think is really the showstopper of this. So Kote features a seamless top-down construction with a saddle shoulder methodology that uses proprietary increases called cabled increases that Hiroko has developed. It makes a beautiful structured top portion of the garment, and the cabling is intentionally dense to enhance the fabric density and structural integrity of the top portion. So where the most weight of an entire garment rests, she has intentionally introduced additional cable crosses that wouldn't necessarily be there to ensure structural stability for the long term for this particular thing, which I think is pretty spectacular. The effect in person is, I think, more astonishing than on camera, actually. It's quite difficult to appreciate because it's so overwhelming.
And especially because it's like a dark color, it probably doesn't show up super great.
Yeah, I must admit I love a dark cable. And it's not always the most photographable unless you're in certain light conditions, but it really produces something beautiful. And the Cumbria Worsted is such a joy to work with. And the greatest news about this is Cumbria Worsted is an excellent substitute for either Sode or Kote by Hiroko Payne. And we are working on expanding the sorts of things that we have to offer for that over time. So Cumbria is something we can pre-order for you if you'd like to get amongst this and try it out. It is a joy to work with. A blend of merino, masham, and mohair. The mohair is not brushed, it's blended in. As I probably mentioned before in this podcast, but hey, you might be watching this for the first time. Please come back. We're not desperate, it's just hard to find new people on the internet. The structure of this is going to come out really great. I'm not looking forward to knitting the button band because I hate picked up button bands because you have to pick them up and work the whole, like hold onto the whole garment while you're making the button band. And I will tell you, after finishing my blue and white cardigan, I am done with picked up button bands because that button band was so easy to make and put on.
Couldn't you just do it your own way?
I could. That's a really good point, Emily, except that I am actually knitting this to pattern. Like completely to pattern, because I do intend to put this into the shop as a sample for quite a while. And I kind of went on a wild adventure with my Calypso pullover that also does not fit because it's a round yoke. It's not a problem with the pattern. It's my body and round yokes do not interact well together at this juncture, and it's only going to get worse. And I think it's really beautiful the way I've made my Calypso, and I actually like the way I've modified it quite a bit. But it's not a great sample in a lot of ways because it's hard to articulate fully any modifications that we make. So one of the inherent challenges of a knitting shop and of doing this for work is that there is a tension between what you want to produce for yourself and what you need to produce. And a lot of that plays out in different ways. Luckily for me, I'm a fast enough knitter that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'm also a very selfish knitter, so it's tricky on that front because I'm constantly trying to balance those two. There are two wolves inside of you, one who wants to knit things for your shop and one who only wants to knit Noragon pullovers knit flat.
I have problems with this whole selfish knitting thing.
Ooh, hit
like,
me.
You're the one putting all the work in. You're probably the one buying the yarn. It's not selfish to make it for yourself.
You know, Emily, I think that's really a good insight. Selfish knitter definitely comes from an era when people needed to be knit for in order to be warm and keep themselves alive in various scenarios.
Yeah.
And you're right, that's not really the case anymore. And I should stop saying this because I'm the biggest proponent of telling people to stop knitting for others. The reality is, right, like if we want more new knitters, and we do want more new knitters because there are very good reasons why more knitters is the best solution, honestly, to most of the world's problems. I'm sorry in advance. But if we continue to find and recruit more new knitters through a lifestyle of attraction and, let's be honest, sexy petite knits, sorry everybody, if we continue to do this, there will be more yarn.
Yes.
For one thing. Think about that, Emily.
Yeah.
More yarn.
Yeah.
And you know me. If there's one thing that I want, because I need it, or something could happen, it's more yarn.
Yeah.
And the other great thing about knitting as a hobby, and I think that we've been really pushing this here at the shop, and it's really paying dividends in ways that are intangible but important, is that knitting is a community activity, right? So the more people we have doing it, the more you're going to find others to connect with who want to knit the same things as you, unless you're me. I'm always going to be off on my own island of people being like, that's not possible. Yeah. And I've just had to accept that I'm going to live a sad, lonely knitting life for the rest of my knitting time. But it is so cool what we have here at the shop, what we're seeing all the time. And you can have that too. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter if you're here in Christchurch, you can join an online group, you can come in, you can watch us, we can be your knitting community, but also finding and recruiting more knitters to come and hang out in your lounge and knit on a Thursday night is going to change your life. So please, invite someone over to learn how to knit. Maybe do it with a stranger on the street. Let's role play. I'll show you how to do it. Emily, you be a stranger on the street.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi. Do you want to learn how to knit? No, it's not your choice. You don't have a choice in this matter. This is my address and you're coming over tomorrow night. See, you can do it to strangers.
Abduction.
I just proved it. It's just knitting lessons.
We like petite knits. We don't like Stockholm Syndrome.
Well, that's not what I've seen. So, and also, these are coming. We have worked out the final details of the socks because I am not great with some things. So, I should hold them up again. Please, do stay tuned for my Sweet Enough socks. It is part of a sock range that is coming out because it turns out that I have designed like 40 pairs of socks. I have found 40 sock patterns that I have fully written, and now I just need to knit them apparently and photograph them and release them. So here we go.
Yeah.
These are the Sweet Enough socks. They were inspired by Emily. They're not for Emily. These are mine.
They would match my outfit. Just
I
saying.
know. They would match
how perfectly,
all of your outfits.
How perfectly does this skirt go
Seriously,
with this?
like
I was like,
so aggressive.
what should I wear with it?
So
this
aggressive.
perfect skirt.
So these are an homage to Emily's knitting because there is a pointlessly difficult cable for no good reason combined with just way too much moss stitch. And I knit them in soft pastels. It's so pretty. And the worst part is how comfortable they are. Like the moss stitch portion is really... It's so obnoxious.
It's so good.
Especially in fingering weight on a tiny needle. Oh, canceled. She's right.
Come back to me when you've done 2 meters of it and then we'll talk.
Look. It'll be like in 2 weeks because I'm making a sweater all in it. Okay, I'm just going to pick up all this.
Yeah.
Guys,
what I like about this order as well is a lot of them go together really well.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah. Like this one, Poppy and Fine Line.
I know. Okay, so I'm going to try to make a little bundle so we can hold them all up and then we'll divide and conquer and start talking about all the colors because I sat for so long making this order. It was 9 stages of deranged and it came in and it was worth the effort.
A lot of them go perfectly with ones we had already.
And the best part is, just as a side note, for any of you who are desperate, and you should be desperate, to make a shift again, because I must admit, I wore mine the other day and was like, damn, this is...
I remember. My favorite.
Yeah, I wore it the other day and I was like, I don't know, and hence why I'm making that bombaloni cardigan. Literally, it's why I'm making it. Because, anyway... An entire spin cycle garment is the most comfortable garment. I almost hate myself for admitting this, but the best part is we still have some of the semi-solids in stock and we just got Leith back in, which is essentially a semi-solid. So we have Stonetown, Scranton, Leith, a little tiny bit of Mizuzu, and a soupçon of Sweetwater left. But honestly, we have almost all the original colors for several of her patterns, of Andrea Mallory's patterns right now, but please listen to us. It is already disappearing, especially to people who are ordering it on the internet. So if you are somebody watching this and you are a local or you are someone who is planning on coming in to look through our spin cycle, we get roughly 3 to 4 orders a year and it does not last. And we will make this face. Yeah. Because we love you and we want you to have what you want, but you have to actually buy what you want. Anyway, so this is the current spin cycle palette. There's a couple not there, like Bad Egg and stuff, because I couldn't be bothered to pick them up. But I'm so happy. Yes. And I think Emily must be very happy as well.
And there's like a good range of colors for everyone.
Yeah, so that one's the devil.
Yeah.
Also evil.
All of it is pretty much evil.
Rude.
I'm not gonna lie. You haven't even got my favorite ones.
Oh. Well, I didn't pick up any of the ones that were tragically low because I had a feeling by the time this went up that we would not have them any longer.
Look at these together.
Yeah, that's why I handed you those ones and I kept these ones. See? We've got the opposing palettes in hand. Yeah. Although the good news is these two...
And Mizuzu.
Yeah, honestly, I caused a problem. Was Dirty Little Secret always this nice?
Yes.
Great.
We just, every other time we've had it, it's sold out.
Before it
even got here.
I'm just really glad for all of our sakes that there was no Every Rose in this batch, because that would have been a real situation with the Dirty Little Secret in the Robin's Egg and the Every Rose. So if you want to make the world's greatest shift cowls, we are ready for you.
Yes.
In our hands right now, in the particular order that we're going to hold them up, we have Miss Me, then Bomboloni, then we have The Meadows, Afternoon Delight, Dirty Little Secret, Stay Ready, Robin's Egg, Fine Line, Poppy, Valley Girl, and Wallflower. Wallflower, by the way, is a very hard to get your hands on colorway. They don't produce it all the time, unlike some of the other ones. I already have a personal stash of Wallflower. If you are looking to get some, please order now, because it is not gonna, that one is not surviving long. I can tell you right now, because it turns out that people like pink. Breaking news. And also Standard Blues, I'm pretty sure is like nearly sold out already.
Oh yes, yeah. It goes really well with these ones.
Yeah, they all go really well together. Like, it's a close your eyes and pick up any three and you'll be fine at this point. So that's good. That's good. Because I do actually have a theory about the shift cowl, that is, if you use any 3 spin cycle colors together, it will turn out beautiful.
Yeah, because you're mixing 2 different ones at once, so it kind of evens out the colors and
And just as a side note, everyone, if you're going to make yourself a shift cowl, just remember the first color that you use is the main color next to your face the whole time. The last color that you start is the one that's at the very bottom. Oh, he's back. I don't think we're... Hello.
Taking this.
Yes,
Thank you.
Have a nice
Have a great day. I think that we're getting more friendly with him. I think he's into it. So
I think he knew we were filming and he waited till.
I know, right?
Because he came 3 hours earlier, like yesterday.
So we have Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool for all of you at home. Dig in and get amongst it, and then the real problems.
There's been a lot of problems this week. I'm not gonna lie.
So
Hence
for one,
the 8 projects.
yeah, for
And
one,
I'm not done.
this is the Project 10. We have them available for pre-order. This is the redesigned Project 10. I thought to myself, great, perfect. I have found the only project bag I will ever need. Then I had an unfortunate flirtation with the Project 32 that ended in me taking one home. And then a real problem happened, because this is the most useful project bag I've ever owned, and I love and adore it. And the only thing that could possibly make it better is if it was cuter. And you know what the problem is? When things get smaller, they get cuter. And the second problem with it is, it didn't get any less functional. It just fits my smaller projects in it.
Yeah.
And so...
Wait, you can like start with the little one, and then as it gets bigger, upgrade.
Exactly. I had to have them in both colors that we had in stock, just in case. Because, like, I already have the needle case in this color and in this color, and I couldn't, like, orphan them to live by themselves.
My favorite with these is how they open out flat. I think that's the best part about these. Like,
I love it.
yeah.
I love, love, love how they open.
And this one has like a needle thing in it ready to go.
It's got, they both have so many great little features. So there's needle straps in both of them. They literally just took everything good about this and we're like, what if you're only making a small project?
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Do they make a bigger one, or do they just do these 2 sizes?
They make a bigger one, and they make a smaller one, and then they make a really tiny one. And good news, bad news, no news. I have ordered them all, so I can have rushing nesting doll lineups of them in my house. And I'm not exaggerating, I've ordered a new shelf for them to live on.
Do they, if they're nesting, do they need to be empty?
Well, I think.
Or are you just going to line them up?
I think I'm just going to have them lined up according to size and color, with the wood smoke on one shelf and the black on the other. Because you couldn't mix them.
Wood smoke, so
That
it's
is
a really
wood smoke.
pretty dark brown.
Yeah.
Chocolatey brown.
And then this is the black, and I think that we have them for pre-order in the burnt tan as well.
Yes, and walnut.
Yeah. So, you won't be sad. I can't live without them. Sometimes I go to leave the house and I don't have one with me, and I literally loop back to grab them. And sometimes I'm like, I don't need to bring my needles today. And I still bring the needle case just so that it's not lonely. I know, I don't want to leave it at home.
Yeah.
Because what do I have there?
What are we doing?
Oh, I think we should just do both at once. I think we should just be honest with the people. So sometimes you think to yourself, get flocked. The only possible problem of going there could be the spin cycle or the Durarium or the Filcolana or the Issayer or the redesign project or the Lucy King candles or the OG soap or the beautiful socks or all of these other things. But the problem is, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I really like yarn.
Yeah.
And I need more yarn at all times. And sometimes I don't consult with people before I make orders. And so our sock yarn of the month arrived a little bit late, but it's here. And boy, oh boy, is it.
I can't do the even hand. Almost.
Ooh, look at it. Oh, I'm so happy. So.
It's so nice. It feels so good.
So Amble is back forever, but we're launching it this October as our sock yarn of the month. I thought it'd be fun for Flocktober to bring you guys something commercially dyed with a beautiful base.
It's a real like hefty skein.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like,
You pick it up and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make something fucking awesome.
Yes.
And I have a pair of socks knit in this yarn.
And this one, yeah.
And I will tell you, I've had to make a new pair for photo purposes because I have worn them so much that like they're still in great shape. They're still socks, but you can tell that I've been wearing them 3 times a week and washing them.
This one's really cool. I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but it like has,
It's heather.
it's like an
I'm gonna
oil
cover my
slick.
face.
It's like an oil slick kind of color.
It's really beautiful.
It's
And
so cool.
what's that one's name?
Fair Hill,
Fair Hill.
which I think, if I remember, these are all places.
Yeah, famous walks
Yeah.
in
And
Cumbria.
obviously
Oh.
this one.
So Buttermere is one of my favorite colors of all time from the Fibre Company. They make this on almost all of their bases.
This one's just Wild,
Wild
Rose,
Rose.
which I'm guessing isn't a walk, but maybe it is. Who knows?
Who knows?
Cat Bells,
which is a place in Cumbria.
Wastwater, as previously
Is
discussed.
a place. We have found Wastwater, and Scaffold Pike is also a place.
So this is
It's next to Hadrian's Wall.
Huh.
I don't know why.
It's merino, alpaca, and recycled nylon.
Yeah. This is a slightly thicker sock yarn, which means if you need to knit socks for people with bigger feet, this is great. It also compresses onto a small needle very comfortably. It's extremely easy to knit with. I'm pretty sure in a garment you could happily treat this as sport. And the worst news about it is that it's soft enough for next to skin wear everywhere, which Emily hates about it.
I'm scared of that sentence, but sure.
Well, I've seen some of the things on Ravelry.
Yeah.
I recently discovered that you can filter out all of the adult content on Ravelry. And I have turned that on, and my Ravelry browsing is a lot less traumatizing now. I was like, this filter was made for me. I no longer have to see the various,
Exposed bits.
I was going to say penis holders that people seem to be. Yeah. So the good news is Amble. And it's great. It's next to Skin Soft. It's really beautiful. The colors are amazing. And this is the problem. The more Fibre Company yarn you have, the more Fibre Company yarn you want.
If I didn't already have 8 whips, this would have been a problem.
This would have been the 9th.
And it's, yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't need it, bam.
Yeah, I'm loving the pretend like this isn't gonna get cast on in the next fortnight. So, help Emily and buy all the Amble so that I order more and more colors, and that will help her.
Definitely will
She's gonna
help.
have 9 whips. This girl's gonna have 9
Do
whips.
they do the colour you have the other thing in this?
Yes, unfortunately they do.
Uh-oh. Okay.
It doesn't dye up quite the same way,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, the other great thing that came in this week, which is also not tempting or causing any problems for anyone, I have not received any text messages about my direct hatred of many people by
I
bringing
definitely
this in.
didn't send specific photos to specific people wanting exactly this palette as well.
This is Lore by the Fibre Company, and I picked this palette because actually most of these are colors I'm not familiar with. Lore has a really big palette. One of the ones from the original release is Gentle. There is a gorgeous Fibre Company cardigan designed in Gentle. It is a rich and sophisticated pink with a complex heathered colorway, and almost all of the colors are extremely tonally heathered, and if not, they have a complementary heather to them. This yarn is a woolen spun, true DK weight, manufactured entirely in the UK out of Romney lamb's wool. So it is not the world's softest yarn. I want to be very clear about this, but it blooms gorgeously, and I have made 3 projects in it. Yeah, including a deep moss pot for a friend of mine and a sample for a yarn shop that I used to work at that I knit on straight wooden needles for some reason. It was a cabled vest. It's really cute. If you're somebody who wants to get super into the Fibre Company, and trust me, you do, they have great collections. Often they have names, and you can go onto the Fibre Company website to search for projects by yarn, which is really, really helpful because I think we can all admit the greatest thing, the best feature that Ravelry doesn't have is filtering by yarn used.
Makes me so mad.
And
I try and do it, but it doesn't go well.
And it doesn't matter how you approach it. Like if you try to get to it from the yarn, and you're like, great, what are some project suggestions? It's not based on whether or not the yarn was designed for that. It's based on total number of people who have used it.
And then, or used it, or they say they used it, but they actually used a different version. Like I was trying to find some dyed in the wool ones, and they were all dream state.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not what this is.
Yeah, so Ravelry, leaving a lot to be desired, more to be desired by the day. Cassidy, if you're watching this, please fix your website.
You can literally filter by like everything except that.
Honestly, what I love is we pay them money to use their services for selling patterns and stuff, and you can send them like 12 emails and they will not respond. And I think that we actually, as a community, need to be more honest about this and possibly start turning more and more towards following our favorite designers and purchasing directly from them and using Ravelry as a discovery source. I think its main purpose today is actually for discovery. It's not a great marketplace because it doesn't offer you the options to interact with it the way that you want. And also Ravelry has random people who edit it and they can change anything they want. And if you don't notice it, it just stays changed.
I have been trying to set up bundles for yarns.
Yes.
So like
amazing.
But that's just me manually putting them together. Of like yarns that we would...
I've been down this road many a time. It's bundling is a challenging thing because you have to favorite everything and then take your favorite and turn it into a bundle. And then sometimes if you make a bundle, you can add things to it as you go, and sometimes you can't. And there's no rhyme or reason.
And sometimes the button, even though you click there, it highlights the one below or above. So that's not a fun time.
No,
anyway,
but
this yarn
lore is a fun time, and so is Amble. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. But this is something, like, we do talk to a lot of people who are trying to find patterns and navigate Ravelry and do this. And if you're feeling really frustrated by it, you're not alone. It's happening to us. It's definitely intensifying over time. As more things are loaded on, it is becoming more confusing. And you have every right to be frustrated. I do think there are some clever solutions to it. Like, if you know that you've got some favorite designers, some come to my mind. Nora Gone, for example. I follow Nora on Instagram. I also do not follow her on YouTube because I feel no need to watch people's YouTube videos. I don't even watch mine if I can help it. But I do follow her on Instagram and I get her newsletter and I regularly check her website. So if you're somebody who knows that a particular designer's patterns work really well for you, we've been hearing great things about Rachel Ilsley, Unwind Knitwear. We've definitely been seeing great results from Amba O'Brien, who's like from our hemisphere, super worth following. Andrea Mowry obviously has a dominance that you can't escape. Meta, the lovely woman behind Petite Knits, is certainly inescapable in this day and age. She was featured recently in the Lina publication Nordic Knits, and there's a great interview in there with her about it. But feel free to take a step away from Ravelry. I don't think you'll miss out on much.
I was going to say something else, but it kind of contradicts what you just said.
Oh, no, hit me.
Well, I just found a new section of Ravelry that I don't know if it's new or it was just I hadn't really noticed it before, but it was like your pattern highlights.
Yes.
So rather than hot right now, it's like designers or things like, and I actually have found quite a lot of stuff from there.
So mine is completely screwed.
Yeah.
Because I use my Ravelry entirely for work. So it only shows me, it doesn't show me anything for me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of so that's the one warning I can give you about that. It also tracks what you favorite and what you look at. So the problem with your pattern highlights is if you're somebody who likes to go to dark corners of Ravelry on a regular basis, but that's what you're looking for, it will keep bringing those dark corners of Ravelry to you. If you're like me and you use it for a lot of different reasons, that pattern section, which is auto-generated and doesn't exist for everyone until you've hit a certain number of things because of the way Ravelry functions.
I've got quite a few favorites.
Yeah, so it basically is like an algorithmic extraction based on the tags inside of the patterns that you previously favorited or made. The problem with this, for those of you who are super Ravelry savvy and will now know, pattern and project tagging is left up to the designer and the individual people that make it, which means in my case, somebody who's often looking for seamed projects, I end up with a lot of things and I can't find the seams.
Or it's
Oh yeah, or it's a shoulder that's done with the 3-needle bind off. My favorite seaming method. Not my favorite. Anyway, we love the colors. We think you will too.
yes.
And yeah, I think that's kind of everything. Lore has a huge amount of different things for it. The colorway names are really engaging. Passionate, happiness, there's no numbers, don't worry. Caring, gentle, what's this guy? Ambitious, that does check out. And breaking news, my favorite, devoted. I know, you're shocked, right? Yeah, look, don't at me, I like the same things. So, with all of that, I hope you guys have a great week of knitting. And don't let anybody make you feel bad about your craft, I guess is the thing that we're talking about here today, which is if you're interacting with platforms and other things that aren't working for you, it's totally okay to step away from them and go on your own journey. You're not missing out on anything. Let go of the fear of missing out.
I definitely sometimes go into like a Ravelry spiral where
Yeah.
I'm like, I could just be knitting right now and actually making something instead of just like going blind scrolling through.
So, just before we leave,
Yeah.
I've started a new thing. I'm trying very hard to only knit on work-related projects during work hours. And so after 6 p.m., I'm trying really hard to only knit on my personal things, which is a fun plot twist. But I've also decided, except for work purposes, on a complete Ravelry ban for myself. And I'm getting a lot more knitting done. So exactly what you just described, I did not realize how much I was doing this until recently because I spend a lot of time just trolling Ravelry looking for ideas for people. And it's absorbing a lot more of my life than I would like.
I find I used to be a really big Pinterester and I would go on there and just look through everything. But now the first app I open is Ravelry almost every time I pick up my phone.
Okay.
Which is maybe not a good thing, but...
Well, I think that we're here to explore and educate and share our experience so that you guys hopefully feel, I don't know how to put this, so I'm just going to say feel less alone.
Yeah, I was going to say one of us.
Yeah, like we want you to feel that this, because this is a conversation. It's a one-sided conversation, but it's a conversation, and we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to go cast on 12 things. So, bye!
Bye.